So this is something I need to address in my golf. It's been intermittent, but it's been getting worse lately. This comes on whether my trunk is open or not. Right now, damn, it just went off. But right now, it is closed. But that light comes on, and it's just an annoyance. So I'm gonna dig into it, see what I can do to fix it. So the first thing I gotta do is figure out where the switch is that controls that light on the cluster. And I think I know where it is. As you can see, it's the leftmost red light that is on. And I just actuated the latch closed on the trunk. So now I am going to release the trunk. And pull the handle and the light should come back on. All right, so that is working as it should. I'm gonna show you what I did. So this is the hatch latch, and that turns the light off. Release it, and the light doesn't come back on until you pull the handle and it is released. So whatever switch is causing me the issue must be in and around here, and it must be saying that it is open when it is actually closed. So I imagine there's either bad contact or some movement that is restricted somewhere in here. So I'm going to figure out how to get into it. So I looked around the plastic covering that is on the back side of the hatch, and there seems to be a screw there and a matching one on the other side, and those are all the fasteners that are visible. So what I'm going to do is take those screws out and see if this panel pops out. And the screws that come out look like this. And since I don't see any other fasteners, I'm going to use my panel tools to start seeing if panels pop free. Lucky so far. So I started popping this panel off, and this section gave me a little bit of difficulty. So what I did was, you can use a screwdriver or something else. I put it in here and I pulled that gray plastic tab off the lighter part right there, and it was able to free this section. So I'm gonna keep pulling, and hopefully that'll be the last hiccup. And it was. All right, let's see what we got up there. So this is the same orientation that the panel was pulled down in, and you do have to apply some force, but once you remove those screws and save that one spot that I showed you, it's just held in with these types of fasteners. So you can just pull it out, but you do have to muscle it a little bit. If you just want to see how to take it out, fast forward to about 6 minutes. But if you're curious to see how this interacts with the other parts on the trunk, keep watching. I'm going to try and orient myself a bit with these mechanisms. So that is what happens when you pull the handle. So I'm going to did you see that? That's what happens when you close it. So I'm gonna open it and do that again to make sure I got it. So now, when I pull that, you saw that move. So now I'm going to close it, and I'm gonna pay closer attention to what happens in here. That was so fast. I was looking up here when this moved too. So let's do that again. All right. So I think I have an idea of what happens, but I don't know if the switch is over here or... So now that I take a closer look at it, the switch that I may be looking for may be right there to the left of the JM3, because there is a possibility that there's a switch in here that turns it on and off, but I'm gonna go with the assumption that this is just an actuator. So I think that may be the switch there, and hopefully there's a quick way to troubleshoot that. So I'm gonna disconnect this plug. All right, and when I disconnected it, something actuated over here, and I think it was the signal that said open or closed, because now it is saying that the trunk is closed because you don't see that red indicator light on. Now watch this. I'm gonna plug it back up. So with it plugged back in, the light is on. So I think that is where our switch lives. So before I take the latching mechanism out, I'm gonna make sure that it is not closed. I don't know how much that matters, but that's what I'm gonna do. And then I'm going to release this arm, and it looks like you can just pull it down like that. So everything should be free. You see it's disconnected here and there. And these bolts here, I'm going to take out with a M8, I believe. M8 12 point. All right, it's out. Let's see how serviceable this is. So I think I figured out how this thing works. So when you close the trunk, the striker hits here, and that is one position. Then when it's all the way closed, that's the next position. And when you pull the handle, it does that. So check it out. See if you can see both of them. You can't. So as I push this up, watch what happens to that. So there's 2 clicks. Then when you pull this, pretty cool. So when it is closed, this piece is as far that way as it ever will be. And that must be what sends the signal that it is closed. Yeah, so I'm guessing it is the position of this that I'm concerned with. So I started to tear into it to see if I could fix the switch or find the contacts or something. And it didn't look like I was going to be able to fix it. Well, it looks like I'm still going to order one, because taking it any farther apart would require grinding out or drilling out these rivets, and well, it doesn't look easily serviceable. If anybody knows a way to get to the contacts on this switch, let me know, but for the time being, I'm gonna go place an order for one. Dadgummit, I was hoping I could save some money, but it would be a lot easier just to replace it. So my new trunk latch came in, and it was made in the Czech Republic. So I'm going to install it and see if that fixes the issue with the light. So I had to take the old one out again. All right, it's out. And here is the new one, and it should go in pretty easy. So while the new latch was arriving, I've been driving around with the trunk trim off. So now I'm gonna put this connector in and reconnect this. It wanted to fight me a little bit, so I went and got some pliers to help. There we go. It's in now. All right, let's get this trim back on. Finally. All right. So I got the trim back in, but I can't close it like this. So I'm gonna go release the trunk and hopefully that works as it should. So I'm gonna pull the handle. Perfect. So now it should shut. I think we're good. So I went to clean up and I realized I forgot to reinstall these screws to go in the handholds on the hatch. So I'm gonna put those in and then I'm done. All right, we're good to go. Now it's time to drive it and see if that latch works. I have a long drive to work tomorrow, so that'll be a good test of the light coming on or not. So till next time, later. I think the next thing up for this Golf is some work on the power steering lines. They've been in for a week or so and I just need to go ahead and throw them on. If you'd like to follow along as I continue to improve and modify my Mark IV Golf, hit subscribe. If you'd like to see the things I've already done to it, check out the playlist. It'll be linked in the description. Thanks for watching. Take care.